All right, hello everybody. Welcome to another episode of Blue Studios and the tutorials we're making here. Today we're gonna be talking about how to make a modular character. I had a conversation with somebody today, and it's one of the many questions I often get is how do you make your characters modular in a way that you can switch gears and create different gears and all the sorts of stuff. And it seems there's a lack of tutorials in this topic particularly. So I'm gonna make a quick live today and go over some of the things I do to make my characters modular. Um, First thing, I want to thank all my Patreons and that support me and all the work that I do. You guys are the best, and without you, these tutorials wouldn't be possible. If you have any questions, please just write in the chat or in the comments, and I'll definitely get back to you. There's also a few links in the description if you want to know about more of the work that I do, and if you want to connect with me in the social medias and all those platforms. Alright, so enough with the introductions. Let's get into what we came for. So this is a character I made a while back. It's a very simple character. It's for a platformer type game that I'm building on my spare time. Hopefully I end up doing a devlog at some point. But for now, I think it's a very good simple character to work with and show you guys how I go about creating a modular setting for it. So first I'm gonna hide the rig, and I'm gonna go into edit mode, and actually, you know what, let's reset all the posts so we have yep, perfect. So now we can see everything is not altered by the rig. So first thing I do is I always set up my character in parts. I cut my character in parts, and I'll cut it in the parts that I want to let's just think about it like if the slots that you want to use. So the most common RPGs, they have a head slot, they have a body slot, they have arms, and then gloves, and they have legs, and then they have shoes and the boots. At this point right here, we only have lower leg, upper torso, the arms, and the head. So maybe we want to, just for the sake of going a little bit more traditional, let's just put a seam here to make some gloves. Mark seam. And then let's put a seam here. Yeah. Or maybe up here. Let's always make long boots, like, because it's kind of sci-fi-ish. So let's just mark a seam here. So now I have all the parts that I'm gonna be using. Okay. So this character has a separate mask because in the game, character changes masks and gets different gear and all that stuff. And everything, these parts were connected because of the type of gear that was going to be used. So again, this is only for showcase purposes. You cut your characters in the parts that you want. I have one of my modular sets. They got belts, they got upper leg, they got pelvis, they got upper arm, lower arm, hand. So you can go crazy with it. Alright, so let's start. Let's first begin with the chest. So what you want to do is you want to hit L, and in your select length menu here, you want to select seams. And that's why I do the seams. Like in low poly, most people use a palette, color palette. And if you go to my UV editing, you're gonna see that my torso, it's here. But I like to actually unwrap it, and then you can just scale to 0 and make a dot and just move that dot around. And this is the common practice for a poly style texturing. But seams, by the tool of using the island selection with the L key, you can separate by sharp UVs and other things. And seams is one of the easiest way that I found that allows you to segment the parts that you want to use. So let's grab this guy right here. Perfect. And we're going, oh, actually, before I forget, Shift L, deselects. L selects, Shift L deselects. So I'm gonna Shift D to duplicate this guy. I'm gonna P to separate selection, exit, and then we have this torso right here. Cool. So here's why I follow this method. If I go back and try to find my rig, if I find it, actually let's just do this. Perfect. If I find my rig, you're gonna see that even though there's an extra torso, there is no clipping, and you would totally see a clipping in most cases. But since it has a perfect duplicate of the weights, the movement you do with the rig, it will translate perfectly onto the new mesh that you created. And this is why I always make my base mesh, my base body, and I rig it, make sure the rig is great, moves perfectly as I want it, and then I start making outfits, and then I make the pieces and cut the parts. You can do type of skin mesh way, which will be just keeping the whole body and making bigger pieces. So for this, for example, let's just make this subdivision surface. No, sorry, that's not it. Solidify. Let's do solidify. Let's go here so we can see better. And I'll switch my offset so it's facing outward. There you go. And you already can see this is technically a shirt, right? Let's turn this on. Cool. And we can do all sorts of things, like for example, let me just get rid of this here. Let's get rid of all these right here. X faces, and you have like a short shirt right there. You can start to modify it, go into a sculpting tool and kind of change things a bit. Let's say I want to add this here and kind of make my shirt bulgier on the bottom. Let's unite this here. Cool. Pull this back. And let's actually get rid of these guys. It's unnecessary. I'm gonna make another seam here, kind of make that like so, and then lower this like so. Maybe do a bevel. I'm just playing around doing things. Just you can't just recreate as much as the pieces that you need to for your character. It's a rather simple process to it. What I have in my other characters is that I separate the bodies. So in the RPGs, you regularly kind of hide the piece that you are not going to use. So if you have your body separated in segments, then whenever you put a shirt on, what you get is the chest piece will disappear, or the hand will disappear when you put gloves on, etc. So let's do another thing. Let's grab the hands. Let's do some gloves. So again, I select them with L, P to separate. And in this case, I separated the hand itself. And if I make the gloves out of this, I will lose the base hand. So make sure that you always do a duplicate before you start working on it. Else you're gonna have to go back to a previous version if you have one, and if you don't have one, then you might need to remake the hand itself. But we have a duplicate here. Let's call this gloves 1, and this one is gonna be, let's call it the hands. It's good practice to name your things, so that way you don't get all confused when you're working on pieces. Like my modular sets, they have more than 100, close to 200 parts, so I always also create collections. For example, this is gonna be hand collection, then I'll move these to the hand collection, and everything I make that has to do with the hand is gonna be here. So it's good to organize your hierarchy and your layers to make sure you're working on what you want. So gloves, let's go inside the gloves, and let's add a solidify as well. Offset it. One good thing about getting rid of the hand in the case of using gloves is that sometimes gloves are they get large, and if you want to do a thinner glove, then it might start to clip. So if you separate the hand, then you can just turn it off. It's one of the reasons turning off it's good practice. So that's good. 0.05. So if you want to do some detail to the gloves, for example, I'm gonna grab this one, I'm gonna Control P to separate it, and I'm gonna increase the thickness, make that bulgy part right there, and then go here. I'm gonna just carve my way in, because I want to do some creases. Let's see if this works. I think I messed up here. Let's see. Yeah, it's broken there. Okay, cool. Now let's do a little relaxation. Yeah. Okay, here's a little bit of a mess up as well. Let's see. Good. Here's another mess up. Perfect. I think that's good right now. Okay, so now we should be able to make maybe another one, another loop. Yeah, so we made another loop there. Let's move this one here, this one here. Let's add another loop there, just to make the glove crease. Gonna rotate it a bit, move it, make this one larger. I rotate it like so. There we go. So we have some glove creases there, and you can modify as much as you want. You can even maybe add a plate here. I'm gonna select my faces. Let's say the dude has a big plate on top of the hand here, like a steel medieval plate. So I'm gonna go hit P, separate that section, and I'm going to put that, make it bigger. That's a bit too big. So let's do 0.1, no, 0.112. 0.012. 0.01. I mean, that's okay. Alright, so this brings me to the next thing, and while I'm doing this, that sometimes you're gonna have things are gonna be skin tight. They're gonna stay the same, so you don't want to mess a lot with the edge polys, like the verts. The edge verts, they are perfectly aligned with the body itself. Okay, so it's really important that you get that part. So whenever you're making parts, like you're cutting, like I just did, I separated this, you want to make sure that you take this only rim thing here, because at this point if we have the only rim, the face underneath it is gonna be, it's not gonna be there. It's gonna be created. But if you don't have it ticked, then you'll have just extra faces all over the place, and all these verts will count up to your poly count. So keep that in mind. Most of the times you're doing this, you want to have this, but sometimes if it's a jacket or something that it will be seen from the other side, from the darker side, the opposite side of the normals, then you want to have this unticked so you don't get that issue, unless you're using a shader in a game engine that allows double-sided reaction, Okay, so we have this plate here, and we have only rim ticked, and this one as well, only rim. That's good. So now we can grab these two and just join them. Of course. Make sure that you apply your solidify. Has shape keys. Let's get rid of this. I'm not gonna need that. So apply your solidify. Do you have shape keys? Yes. Apply your solidify, and new. We take the only rim, get rid of this, and apply solidify. Okay, so now if we grab all these, we can join them together, and then go into edit mode, select them all in the vertices, go to mesh, clean up, and merge distance. Now I want you to watch the message that comes out here. Is going to tell you how many verts are going to get merged and going to get rid of. 28 vertices got merged in, and what happened is, let's say we go inside the glove here, you're going to see that it doesn't have any extra faces, and it's all merged back together. See? Sometimes you need just a tad of a cleanup. Nothing major. But that's the whole idea behind this. So now we have a glove. And we have our hand. And if we get rid of our hand, we only have the glove. And it's perfectly aligned to it. So now let's bring back our rig. Oh, okay, so no biggie. I only work on one side, and I'll do a mirror. It'll retain the weights. So just try to work on one of the sides and use the auto mirror tool. Positive means from right to left. Negative from left to right. So I want to copy this one over to this side, so it's positive. Auto mirror. Have our good here, and now we just apply it. And we enter our rig. Things just move how they should. Okay, so now, perfect. Let me explain this to you. You remember we did extra loops here? When you alter the mesh, you're gonna get a couple vertices that were not initially, and in weight painted with the rig. So you're gonna have to go inside the edit mode, and let's go here to your vertex group, and this is only if you add extra mesh. So most of the times that won't happen. You want to go here and vertex group weights, and then with your arrow keys you want to scroll all around until you find the spot that is missing. You see that there? This is what we want. So that's the spot currently that doesn't have any weight. So I'll just lower this to 0.5 or 0.3 because this is kind of green, and assign it. Perfect. So now let's try that again. There we go. So now, as you can see, it's working great. And of course we do the same for this side, but what we just do is, again, auto mirror it, apply it, and it retains the weights. Now everything is working as it should. As you can see, there's no clipping, even though the hand is inside there. You have no clipping. Alright. Select all stop it. See how you. Okay, so now let's still boats. So what we do is we select our boats, make sure you have your lower part, and we are going to, let me turn this off. We're going to duplicate these, P, separate selection, and let's name this boat 1. Let's make a collection. Let's call this feet. And move you to feet. Let's add solidify. Move the offset. And if that's good, then you can get to work. I wanna do some extra loops here. Kinda make this larger, like so. And then I want to give it maybe like a heel, type of a boot heel. Shoot that there. Yeah, seems good. And make this guy a little bit thicker as well. Have the right one? Okay, here. Kind of make this a little bit bigger. That's it. Push it back a bit. Maybe as well. Push it back a little bit. Maybe rotate it. Give it that. Look right there. So now we have some clipping here. There's two ways I would go about this. First one, right, simpler one, just make this longer until it covers all the feet, all the foot. So it covers it all, and that will work well. The thing with this is that your rig is based on the body itself. So this is not the best practice, because then you'll have your character with the feet sunken up a bit differently from the original body itself. So I mean, if it's like a top-down kind of character or something like that, this is a super fast way of doing it, and it works perfectly when the character is, you know, seen from afar, and there's not gonna be a lot to notice down there. So you pick, like I said, just pick your battles. I try not to do anything that is not necessary. That's just, I like to work smart. If you say, hey Ultralord, yeah dude, thank you, appreciate you here, man, hope this helps in any way. Okay, so we got that boot right there, and the other method is, of course, getting your boot, your free part, separated, and hide it. So now here you're going to need to close this here, right? Or other thing I do is I make a loop, right? And then I'll just move this up, grab the loop to wherever this is. You can also visualize it like this if you want. You see that there? So I think it's good. Or you can just fill that up. Okay. And you get that. That's the way you avoid that. And that is a nicer way, just because um, it's cleaner, you know, and you get to have more flexibility on how the pieces and the parts are. You have less restrictions. Otherwise, if you want to keep the body inside, you need to make sure this is bulkier than the body part, and you know you gotta test the rig more and just make sure it doesn't clip all over the place, or at least in visible places. Let's go here, auto mirror it up, and we are going to move this here, apply the auto mirror. Oh, we got. Let's get rid of that. I was making some blend shapes for the character, so that's why it has. Okay, let's apply this. Let's try the rig again. Perfect. Hey, no clipping. Even though the boat is still there. See? No clipping. Okay. Great. So those are boots. Again, I'm just doing parts so you see kind of the whole idea of it, but it's literally just copying the pieces that you already have and molding them to be what you want. Let's hide this one. Let's make another shirt, for example. Maybe let's make a longer shirt. Let's duplicate the body, piece separate, and this one's gonna be long sleeve shirt. Cool. And this one, I'm gonna work on it before the solidify, just to give you another perspective on how to do this. Let's do kind of a fancier mages vibe shirt. I'm gonna use K for my knives tool. I'm gonna make this like so. Oh, there. Perfect. I'm gonna auto mirror it. I'm gonna get rid of these faces. Kind of pull this out a bit. Yeah, so there's extra edge there. Perfect. Got rid of that. Alright. And I wanna kind of relax this here. Yeah, and maybe this as well. And lower this. Alright. So got that there. Now let's kind of make this bigger. Let's go into sculpt mode. Oh, actually, let me apply this first. Let's apply the mirror first, because sculpt mode works best when it's the mirror is not. The mirror is applied. So I'm gonna pull this out. Just make it thicker. Okay, cool. Another tool you can use in sculpt mode to make things larger is this one right here, the inflate. I use it quite often. So it's just gonna give volume to the area itself. So it's very good when you're making clothing and this with this technique. You can just inflate and give it a more controlled thickness, if you may. Like so. I'm gonna make this larger than here. Get rid of that, get rid of this, like that. Cool. Popping up nice. Make it a little bit more fit. Get rid of that. So when I get rid of this, I mean I'm holding shift down and smoothing it out. Basically getting rid of the skin tight details. So now we can go here in edge mode and start relaxing some of these loops. Make them less square. Yeah, cool. And can get rid of this one as well. That works fine. We can lower this a little bit. Can we relax this here? So the other part you want to make sure is that you maintain your edge flow. Whenever you create a new piece, you really want to go over your edge flow and make sure everything is backed or is, you know, where it should be. You want things to move smoothly. All the time, whereas at least most of the time. Okay, can actually probably get rid of you guys. Kind of move this here, or maybe do one here, but there's not a lot of movement going on in this area, so it's extra loop not necessary. Okay, so now let's give it a little bit more pizzazz here. Make this kind of bigger. Right, and then just throw a loop here, like so. I'm gonna try just to make a little bit of crease detail here, like it's bulging in there, you know. And get rid of the elbow a little bit so it's not so skin tight. Okay, cool. You can do the same as well. Whatever you want creases, you can just create a loop there. Move it around, make another one like so. Get proportional editing a little bit there. Kind of move these around. Do some rotating. Okay, good. We got some creases there. Let's pull this down. Cool. Now, auto mirror. Apply it. We got another shirt. Now, this shirt, go to face orientation, so you can see it doesn't have the solidify. So if we try to go or set up some materials and we don't take the double-sided, this is gonna be all transparent. We're not gonna be able to see that, and inside game engines this is gonna just look like it's not there. So this is one of the parts that you choose, either to keep the solidify with the only rim. This is gonna be transparent. See, here it'll be all filled up. So you kind of have an option there to do. There's an extra step that you can do, is that you cut, for example, this part here. Kind of separate that from the other ones, and this one you get rid of the solidify, right? This one you apply the solidify, and then you just merge it with this one and select all your vertices mesh, mesh by distance, and you get that part right there. But sometimes the place that you made that, you know, the connection kind of stays there. It's not very noticeable when it's textured. You can't really get away without it. So when it's textured, it's not super noticeable. If you put some details in it, as you can see, it's not super noticeable. And inside it's only one side. Let's go. You see, it's one-sided, and only this part right here is double-sided. So that saves you on mesh count, auto mirror it, and technically we have another shirt there. Okay, let's go back to our body here. Okay, so another cool thing is that it maintains the seams. That is super awesome, because when we go to UV editing, we go like so, we get to unwrap it, and it's good unwrap. You have your, well, maybe you want to apply this, and then you get your full unwrap right there, and you can hand paint texture as you want, etc. So just something to keep in mind, that when you're doing this method, and this is why I do it, it saves me so much time, you know. So let's see, we already made shirt, made gloves, made the boots, can make some pants. Let's do some funny pants. We'll do shorts just because we can. So what I'm gonna do is go to first is to get rid of this. Go into edit mode. Now I'm gonna grab this here, select my pants, and I'm gonna hold control down, and kind of deselect those. It's gonna do some shorts. Now I'm gonna duplicate this, control hit P to separate, and let's do our solidify modifier, and this time I'm actually gonna do 0. So what this does is that it -1 tells it you're gonna make it thicker from the outside in. If I flip this, when I give it thickness, it's gonna go from, you know, from the center out, negative from center in. So if I put it at 0, it's gonna do equal parts out, equal parts in, and you need less of this. Got some pants there. Let's give it like those summer shorts feel, like so. And I'm gonna auto mirror it. If this ever happens to you, that's because your mirror needs to be on top of your solidify, just in case. So let's grab these, and I actually want these to be kind of, you know, planned out. Perfect. Let's put this here. Now, oops. I'll get faces, peach separate, and now this guy, I'm gonna put it bigger. Get those summer shorts rolled up there. Okay, now we want to apply this, of course, without the bases. Okay, apply it, solidify. Oops, wait, you know what? In this case, solidify, you want to have only rim selected, because we're not going to use the inside, it's not necessary. So same thing, let's get rid of this, and then apply the mirror, and only rim. Now we can join them together, and if we go inside, only the rim was built, and we can actually get rid of these pieces right here. which are not gonna be seen. Okay, so let's see if I'm correct. Actually, that one was gonna be seen. I grabbed the wrong one. See? No, that's not it. Yeah, so this is the one that I want to grab. I mean, this is not necessary. You can literally just leave it there. It's not a big deal. I did this on the right side. Let's auto mirror it and apply it. Cool. Now we got a cleaner mesh. Got some shorts ready to go. Let's make this bigger. Pull you guys down a bit and add an extra one. And this extra one, I'm actually gonna fill that out with F. Get that going there. Calculate the normals just to make sure everything is on the right side. Like that is wrong. Recalculate the normals. Okay. Okay, so let's see if we can flip it. Okay, so actually this is not working the right way because we need to control A. We control A and rotation and scale. You want to apply those. Okay, now these right here, I guess we kind of need to flip their normals. Flip them, and you as well. We need to flip you. And now I can just auto mirror it. Okay, so everything seems to be correct. And yeah, guys, literally, this is the whole process I use. So, what am I using to rig? I rig with Auto Rig Pro. That's what I use for rigging. But it's super similar to Rigify. It's just I just got used to this one. It's a paid asset. Rigify is super great as well. Kind of works similarly. But this one has a quick rig that allows me to create rigs from bone structures that I make on my own, which is very nice. And has a few cool things for remapping bones and targeting other rigs and animations. Alright, so technically this is literally it. So this is how I make modular pieces for my characters. I just make sure I have my character already set up with the rig, and I can just do stuff with it. So let's try the shorts. I think there's some things that need fixing. That's one of them. Let's try it again. Let's see. Okay, so like I said, sometimes when you do extra mesh, things break a little bit. So let's do that fixing again. Let's go here, turn this vertex group on, and let's go find what's wrong with it. And this will depend on your rig. This one is a little bit more complex than most rigs. So I think might be happening is Another thing you can actually do is just grab that piece on itself and kind of retarget it. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. It's more of a trial and error type thing. And in this case, that worked. Yep, that worked. So that's another thing you can also do is just retarget, like reskin it, redo the weight. Perfect. And this is the other shirt. It's the shirt and the body itself. Okay, so this is the end of the stream for today. Just wanted to do this quick stream because it came to my attention that there's little information on how to make modular characters. And so in this series I'm gonna do modular of everything that I do modular. So I'm gonna show you guys how to do modular houses or modular chests or other props, etc. Which is one of the things I enjoy the most about doing polystyle is that it allows you to be a lot more modular than the other more realistic styles. And it's super fun to do. But again, same method. I use the same method for hand painted, stylized, and you can even do realistic with this. It takes a little bit more work, but it's still a process that it will work in most of the settings, or at least the settings that I've tried. Alright guys, I always appreciate you guys joining in, giving your feedback, asking questions. Leave your question in the comments or just join social media and I'll do my best to reply and help you out. Watch out for the next episode. And again, thanks to my Patreons. And if you want to see more of my work, check out the links below. Give it a like if you liked it, or let me know if you didn't like it and why, so I can do my best to do better streams and bring you better content. Alright, hit that subscribe button so you get the notification for the next stream. Alright, cheers guys.